After saying that, his body flickered, and he was gone in the next instant. A hush fell over the cave of reflection, while Yi Qianxin looked stunned and at a loss. At the moment Lu Zhou produced unnamed, he heard a system prompt. Ding! You have disciplined Yi Qianxin, and are rewarded with 100 merit points. He did not expect that. Well, no matter which disciple disciplined her, at least it shows that Yi Qianxin still has some value. He controlled the unnamed sword and made it spin rapidly in his palm before stopping and grabbing its hilt. With my cultivation base in the sense condensing realm, I still can't control it at will. The sword cut at a saber placed on the weapon rack beside him. Bam! Sparks flew everywhere. The saber was intact, and so was the unnamed sword. This was the item he got from the lucky draw when he had 0 luck points. It is indeed a piece of junk. The unnamed sword flew back into Lu Zhou's palm as a faint, pale blue light flashed across its edges. Just when he was about to test it further, he heard a calling from outside the chamber. Master, Pan Zhong from the Clarity Sect begs for an audience with you. He clenched his palm, and the sword disappeared. Although his few attempts at the lucky draw were not that smooth, he somehow managed to get something. At present, he was still not familiar with the unnamed, and he would have to take some time to understand it. Moreover, due to his weak cultivation base, he could not fully unleash its power. As for Bai-In, he could only study it when he was free. After Lu Zhou left the chamber, the edge of the saber placed on a weapon rack flashed with a pale blue light and cracked with a small line. When he stood outside, Lu Zhou realized that he had not come out for a long time. The outside world was so bright that he felt uncomfortable for a moment. A few people were waiting for him in the great hall. Old Senior. Oh, mister. 2 men hastily knelt upon seeing Lu Zhou. Little Yuan trotted over to help him as she smiled and said, Master, when I went to the station to gather information, I saw both of them kneeling outside the shield. So I brought them up. Master won't blame me, right? As he knelt on the ground, Pan Zhong glanced at the old man in front of him from the corner of his eye from time to time. He found it hard to imagine that this ordinary-looking old man was the villainous Patriarch of Golden Court Mountain the world feared. The man beside him was Manhwa, who was shaking and dared not to raise his head. You're not causing any trouble in the station, are you? Lu Zhou lightly knocked her head. No, I didn't, and I got a lot of information. Little Yuan said. Lu Zhou nodded and turned his eyes to the 2 men. Stand up and talk. Pan Zhong got up without a problem, but Manhwa staggered when he rose and nearly fell back down. When he finally stood up straight, his eyes met with Lu Zhou's, and he trembled and dropped to his knees again. Oh, mister, please spare my life. I was blind to have not recognized a mighty figure like you. What have I done to you? I've treated you kindly along the way, but why do you sound as if I've murdered your whole family? Lu Zhou thought to himself. However, he remained calm and expressionless. Yuan, he called in an indifferent voice. Yes, master. Send him away. I understand, master. Manhwa paused, but before he could say anything, Lu Yuan had lifted him like a chick and bolted down the mountain. Pan Zhong was speechless and swallowed at the sight of that, thinking that his plan of joining Golden Court Mountain would not end well. Pan Zhong, Lu Zhou's eyes fell on him. The other shuddered as he cupped his fist and said, Old Senior. Lu Zhou did not speak, but turned to a chair and sat down slowly. Do you really want to join my Golden Court Mountain? Lu Zhou's eyes were deep, his voice old but powerful. Plop. Pan Zhong knelt and cupped his fist. Yes, I wish to join the Golden Court Mountain. Please accept me, Old Senior. Lu Zhou stroked his beard and glanced at Pan Zhong's eyes. Although he only cultivates the 3 Yin styles and has brought himself a body filled with a bitter chill, he is actually a talented man. After considering for a brief moment, he said faintly, People all over the world are afraid of me. Righteous sects and cultivators all over the world want to get rid of me. Even my disciples want to kill me. Pan Zhong's heart fluttered when he heard that. He did not know what Lu Zhou was going to do and what his purpose of saying that was. After you join Golden Court Mountain, I'll naturally protect you. However, if one day... Lu Zhou paused. Pan Zhong finally understood, and he quickly kowtowed while saying, If I harbor ill intentions against Master one day, I will be cut into 1,000 pieces alive. His loyalty had increased by 10%. Very good. Zhou stroked his beard and said, I always honor my words. You may rise. Thank you, old senior. Pan Zhong stood up nervously. Right then, Ming-Sher-In walked into the great hall. His face was all smiles, and he was in high spirits. He nodded at Pan Zhong before dropping to his knees in front of Zhou. Master, I've broken through into the nascent divinity tribulation realm. Pan Zhong was shocked when he heard that. Any cultivator who could reach this realm was an expert, and Golden Court Mountain had produced a few of them. So, how could he not be shocked? Zhou nodded and said, When you enter the nascent divinity tribulation realm, you will gain the 100 tribulations inside Avatar. Your cultivation base will be different with each leaf your avatar opens. Remember, you must not be arrogant and look down on others. I will remember Master's teaching. Ming-Sher-In cowed out honestly. Ding, you have disciplined Ming-Sher-In and are rewarded with 100 merit points. Pan Zhong was puzzled as he watched that. He heard others say that the old villain of Golden Court Mountain was a short-tempered man who killed people without batting an eye and was cruel and merciless in the way he treated his disciples. However, what he witnessed now was completely different from what he had heard. Instead, he felt that the old senior was a good teacher, and he was so much better than those old bigots of the Clarity sect. Instead, he felt that the old senior was a good teacher, and so much better than those old bigots of the Clarity sect. Master, I had gone to teach Yi Qianxin a lesson when I heard she was being locked up in the Cave of Reflection. Ming-Sher-In said. Zhou's face was calm. So, it is Old Fourth who did that. However, he thought that it was inappropriate to deal with Yi Qianxin in a rush. So he said, let her reflect on herself in the cave. Also, Old Eighth and Old Fifth are involved in the kidnapping of the CI family as well. Ming-Sher-In rolled his eyes and said, Master, since I've just stepped into the nascent divinity tribulation realm, I need to practice my skills with someone. Why don't I go capture Old Eighth and bring him back, so that Master can punish him? He did not mention his fifth junior sister Zhao Yu, because no one knew where she had gone. Although Old Eighth is weak, he is backed by Old Seventh. Even if Ming-Sher-In brings him back, it won't do much good and will also alert Old Seventh. After considering for a moment, Zhou waved his hand and said, Leave him alone for now. Ming-Sher-In was puzzled, but he bowed and said, I understand, Master. I'm tired, leave me. Yes, Master. Ming-Sher-In winked at Pan Zhong, who looked somewhat absent-minded. Say, Senior. However, Ming-Sher-In dragged him out of Evil Sky Pavilion. When they got outside, he grinned wickedly and said, You are the newcomer? Greetings, Fourth, Mr. Fourth. Haha, I like that. Hey, do you want to look at my 100 tribulations inside Avatar? Pan Zhong. Right then, little Yuan bolted up the mountain, leaving numerous afterimages behind her. Fourth senior brother. Little junior sister, you're here just in time. Come and have a look at my 100 tribulations inside Avatar. Ming-Sher-In stretched out his arms as if he were going to hit someone. Little Yuan hurriedly said, I'll look at it next time, senior brother. There is a group of cultivators at the foot of the mountain. I suspect someone is trying to invade Golden Court Mountain again. Ming-Sher-In was overjoyed when he heard that. Excellent. I'll go and have a look now. You don't have to trouble Master with this kind of trifle matter. I can kill them all alone. Senior brother, they are all female cultivators from the derived Moon Palace. Before she could say that, however, Ming-Sher-In had already disappeared. Pan Zhong looked confused and did not know whether he should follow or not. Little Yuan stamped her feet helplessly. When she turned around and saw his stupid look, she said angrily, What are you looking at? I'll cut your eyes out if you look again. Pan Zhong. When did I look at her? Ming-Sher-In could not wait to show his new prowess. He unleashed his energy as he made his way down the mountain, eager to reach the foot as soon as possible. When he arrived and saw the cultivators outside the shield, he grinned wickedly and said, 100 tribulations in sight. He was a nascent divinity tribulation expert, after all. Although his avatar was only 20 feet tall, its prowess was not something that any divine court cultivators could compare with. So, as soon as the group of female cultivators outside the shield saw the avatar, their expressions changed. An avatar? 100 tribulations in sight. The leading female cultivator frowned. Run. Someone wanted to flee. Wait. This 100 tribulations inside avatar is smaller. He should be an early-stage, nascent divinity tribulation cultivator. The villainous Patriarch's avatar is over 100 feet tall. This is not him. Besides, where can we run to? Even as the female cultivators were discussing worriedly, the 20 feet tall avatar had arrived over them. Ming-Shir-In glanced at them and said coldly, "Who are you? How dare you trespass Golden Court Mountain?" All the female cultivators dropped to their knees. Ming-Shir-In furrowed his brow slightly, as this was not what he had expected. The scene he had imagined was that he would force them to surrender, but they would refuse, and he eventually killed them all with an ultimate skill. He did not understand why they were on their knees begging for mercy. As soon as he appeared, the leading female cultivator summoned her courage and looked up at Ming-Shir-In, who floated midair over them. She found that she did not know this man. However, she was sure that he was not the villainous Patriarch of Golden Court Mountain. "We are the disciples of the derived Moon Palace. Please help us, Senior. Please save us, Senior." All female cultivators bowed and cried out in unison. Ming-Shir-In was taken aback and felt embarrassed. It turned out that these female cultivators were not here to attack Golden Court Mountain, but for his 6th junior sister. Their master had destroyed Yi Qianxin's cultivation base and locked her up in the Cave of Reflection, so the disciples of the derived Moon Palace had lost their leader. Meanwhile, as the 3 sects in the southern part of Great Yen did not want to clash with Golden Court Mountain, they would vent their anger on the derived Moon Palace. The problem was, even if they needed help, they should not have come to Golden Court Mountain. Ming-Shir-In was puzzled, and he carefully studied them. There were about 100 bedraggled-looking female cultivators, some with messy hair, some badly wounded, and some who could not even stand by themselves. He sighed and retracted his avatar as he descended from the air. For a crime of deserting the sect and betraying Master, 6th junior sister is being locked up in the back of the mountain. Supposedly, all of you from the derived Moon Palace should be punished as well. I don't understand why you are here. Are you tired of living? Ming-Shir-In glanced at them with his wicked eyes, striking fear into their hearts. The notoriety of the villains of Golden Court Mountain was not without foundation. "Senior, please save us for our palace master's sake," the female cultivator pleaded. This was beyond Ming-Shir-Yin's expectations. He wondered if the derived Moon Palace were really so desperate and had nowhere else to turn to. No, he turned away from them. "Are you kidding me? Your survival has nothing to do with me. You should count yourself lucky that I chose not to kill you." He was about to leave when he heard a bizarre bell drift over from a distance. "Oh!" Ming-Shir-In frowned slightly and turned around to look at the sky in the distance. The sky seemed to be enveloped in a dark cloud, from which came the bell ringing. Hearing that, the female cultivators of the derived Moon Palace turned pale with fear and quickly got up to run toward the shield. Unfortunately, only the people of Golden Court Mountain could travel freely through the shield. No matter how they tried, the shield stood in front of them like a solid brick wall, blocking them outside the mountain. Ming-Shir-In ignored the group of female cultivators and focused all his attention on the dark cloud. His intuition told him that it came with an ill intention. Moreover, someone who could travel in this way should be a mighty figure. "The people of the Fiend Temple are here. It's the Fiend Temple. Please, Senior, let us through. We are willing to serve you." Are they really the female cultivators of the derived Moon Palace under Yi Qianxin's leadership who took the world by storm? Thought Ming-Shir-In as he gave them a sideways glance and felt slightly disappointed. When a power lost their nascent divinity tribulation expert, the remaining divine court cultivators were just underlings incapable of accomplishing anything, no matter how strong they were. The Fiend Temple? Ming-Shir-In felt strange. He thought the derived Moon Palace should be attacked by the 3 sects from the southern part of Great Yen. What was up with the Fiend Temple then? He glanced at the female cultivators again and felt unhappy when he saw them trembling in fear. This is ridiculous. How can there be another power that is scarier than Golden Court Mountain? Why are they afraid of Fiend Temple but not Golden Court Mountain? It was not until the dark cloud got close enough that Ming Shi managed to see what it was exactly. It was not a dark cloud, but a square array with many cultivators forming up a ring around it, all of whom wore black robes. In the middle of the array was a huge, ink-colored dragon chariot. Interesting. Ming Shi clasped his hands behind his back and waited quietly. The three men ranked on the top of the black roll were Ji Tiandao, Yu Jinghai, and Zhuxin Chan. The ranking of the black roll was determined by the evil deeds done by cultivators, and not the level of their cultivation bases. However, in general, those who ranked in the black roll were either extremely strong or very cunning. The person in the chariot was Zhuxin Chan, who was ranked third on the black roll, and was also the #1 expert of Fiend Temple, second only to their sect leader. What made Ming Shi feel strange was a question as to why they suddenly attacked the derived Moon Palace. Fiend Temple and Golden Court Mountain had always been minding their own business. Ding! The bell from the ink-colored dragon chariot was unpleasant to the ear. Finally, the chariot stopped about 100 meters from the shield, hovering in the air while the bell stopped ringing as well. Ming Shi did not move as he observed the chariot and the cultivators around it, which he found quite intimidating. After a moment of silence, a divine court cultivator flew out of the chariot. He stopped halfway between the chariot and the shield and bowed, cupping his fist as he said politely, "Fiend Temple has no intention of offending the Golden Court Mountain. Mr. Fourth, can you let us have this group of female cultivators?" Ming Shi glanced back at the trembling female cultivators and thought, "I think I will look scarier if I dress like this guy." "Suit yourself," he said as he turned around and stepped through the shield. "Thank you, Mr. Fourth. We will certainly come back one day to express our gratitude." The black-clad cultivator beckoned. At the gesture, the cultivators around the chariot swarmed toward the group of female cultivators like locusts. "Hold on." Right then, Ming Shi walked out again. "Is there anything else, Mr. Fourth?" "I almost forgot about Master's new routine. He likes to treat people kindly these days." Right as he said that, he lifted a hand. The shield beside him wobbled, and then the female cultivator staggered and fell through it. From the mouth of the black-clad cultivator, the group of female cultivators found out that this man was the fourth disciple of Golden Court Mountain. So, after they all passed through the shield, they knelt and cried out, "Thank you for saving us, Mr. Fourth." Meanwhile, the black-clad cultivator frowned slightly. "Don't you think it is bad to go back on your word, Mr. Fourth?" he demanded in an unhappy and hoarse voice. Meanwhile, in Evil Sky Pavilion, Zhou leaned back in the chair as he was taking a small break when he heard a system prompt. "Ding! You have received devout worship and are rewarded with 1,450 merit points." The sudden merit points stupefied Zhou. Devout worship? Are all those villainous disciples going out to do kind deeds now? He was thinking about it when little Yuana ran in from outside. "Master, fourth senior brother killed someone."